What's up, you guys, and welcome to a whole new episode of Toni Approved. So, quick question. When's the last time you guys read a good book? I mean, a really good book. A book that you couldn't put down, a book that inspired you, that you just had to go and run and tell somebody, hey, I just read this really good book, you gotta check it out. That's recently what I experienced when I read Mariah Carey's book, The Meaning of Mariah. This is one of the best books that I've read. I almost said written. Read in the longest time. I was looking for a book to actually get me back into reading, and Mariah Carey happened to just be that author. Now, I could get into all of the drama that's inside of this book, like her times with her ex-husbands, Toni and all the juicy details that she gave us about her time with Nick, how her brother and sister became her ex-brother and ex-sister, and how she don't even claim her mama no more. I could also, I guess I'm gonna have to edit that out. I can also get into her breakdown and how she was looking crazy out here for 3 years, and her whole glitter debacle. You know, her movie Glitter, you know, the one that everybody claimed that was oh so bad. But I'm actually not gonna get into any of those points. I'm actually going to talk about 5 Toni approved points I took away from this book that I think if you really get into, you'll wanna read this book too. Before we get started, I want you guys to go ahead and make sure that you like and subscribe so you can stay in the know of everything that I have coming at you guys. Toni approved reason number 1, Mariah Carey is a living legend, you guys. She's had 19 #1 singles on the Hot 100 that span over 4 decades, and she's the very first artist to actually achieve that. In the pages of this book, Mariah Carey breaks down the sauce that she adds on to every one of her songs that has allowed her to hit the Hot 100 spot 19 times. In this book, Mariah Carey details how she writes her music, how she arranges it, how she how she vocally produces the music. And if you're a music lover like me, or if you're an artist that's trying to get out here and just move forward with your music career, I definitely would advise you guys pick this book up and read it. You want to know how icons made their music iconic, so you can go ahead and sprinkle that sauce all over your music. One of the key points that I like about how she arranges is she talks about the fact that when she hears a melody in her head, she quickly tries to record the melody in some type of way, and then she'll go down. She'll go ahead and write down lyrics that goes along with the melody, then she'll go back in and record it as a lead, and then she goes in as backgrounds, and from there she actually talked about all of the different Mariah Carey sauce that she adds when she's in the studio. But definitely a great read for music lovers and anybody that's trying to be an artist. Reason number 2, if you have a strong spiritual background or strong spiritual foundation, you believe in the Lord or a higher power, a being that created you, that you pray to every single day, that is another reason to pick up this book, The Meaning of Mariah. In these pages, you really get to see how Mariah Carey's faith has really taken her to exactly where she is. Growing up, no one believed in Mariah. Even though her mother was an opera singer, even though that she could sing, no one really believed Mariah Carey could be Mariah Carey. She had to have that strong sense of faith inside of her to be able to keep moving forward. For me personally, I am a Disney kid. I love Disney movies. Give me a good cartoon and I'll sit down and vibe with you forever. But I've come to realize autobiographies or even biographies are really important, because at some point in your life, if you're aspiring to be better and receive a higher calling and to keep moving forward in your life, you're gonna have to go through the trenches, and you wanna read stories of real people who went through the trenches, who are giving you exactly how they felt, what they used to motivate themselves, what they used to pull themselves out of it, how they kept themselves going. All of those details are inside of this book when it comes to Mariah. So you definitely want to check it out so you can gain more inspiration for yourself on how you be able to keep moving forward in this world who is constantly telling you to be everything but yourself. Reason number 3, if you support the movement of Black Lives Matter and supporting Black women, then you definitely need to go ahead and pick up this book. Mariah Carey details explicitly in this book her Black experience growing up. If you do not know, Mariah Carey is Black. Yeah, she's biracial. I love the fact that she did not shy away from the whole stereotype that comes from slavery of one drop of black and you Black. So we're just gonna call Mariah Carey Black. But in the book, she really does detail out the experience of what it was like to grow up with a Black father and a white mother during times where we were fresh off of the civil rights movement and that time period, and how hard of an experience that really was for her growing up. I love the fact, not to give out too many spoilers, that she's really sensitive to her father's experience as a black man in the United States in the military, and what it was like to not only be with a white woman, but to have biracial children. She also details out in great detail her own personal experience that she's experienced growing up, not feeling like she belongs to either group, white or black. She even details about this sad story about how one time she was in school, she was going to this all-white school, and she thought that these heifers was going to actually be her real cool friends. She just going along with them, thinking everything cool, and they basically just cornered the girl, about jumped her in some back room, calling her and just being and creating such a traumatic experience for her that she actually took that experience with her into her adult life, and it showcased itself in certain decisions that she made. So if you need a strong story of how to overcome racial equalities, especially if you're someone who is biracial, definitely pick up the story of The Meaning of Mariah. She's gonna tell you how she made it over. My number 4 point will have to be Mariah Carey's remixes. In this book, she details out her experiences with her remixes, which is a very important story. It actually correlates to the issue of race when it came to the music industry and how it affected her career. During the 90s, when the hip hop culture was still coming up, Mariah Carey really wanted to infuse that sound with her pretty tone and songwriting skills to make a sound quality music that was all her own. Now, when she wanted to do this, she faced a whole lot of resistance from the record labels. They actually forced her that if she was gonna work with hip hop individuals, that she would actually have to put out what they call clean records. Oh, I look so cute. They put out clean records that would keep her commercial, aka able to be sold to the white audience. This is why we get songs like Fantasy and Always My Baby, and it turns around has a remix, like a Bad Boy remix of Fantasy, and the Always My Baby remix with Jermaine Dupri and Escape. For me personally, as a fan of Mariah Carey, I low-key like the fact that we have all of these different versions of the songs because I'm a fan of her music. I love to hear it. But I feel that if you're listening to the remixes of her songs, that was actually the true version of the song that she really wanted to put out. And I thought it was very smart of her to use her privilege and her power as a way to still create the sound that she wanted, and in turn try to uplift a culture and a genre that is probably the most popular genre in music today. My final point, it kind of ties into my second point, and it's just Mariah Carey has a strong belief system in God, and she knows that at the end of the day, you have to have that relationship with God or your creator, whatever you guys call him, in order to be able to move forth and have faith to be able to get through the toughest times and to keep pursuing your dreams. And that is a story that is woven throughout all of the pages in the books. Even when you look at the very beginning of the book, the very first quote actually comes from the Bible. It's Hebrews 11 verse 1, pure alignment. And it says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." And this is a quote that is just woven throughout her story. She never forgot who gave her her gifts. She never forgot where her gifts come from. She was never apologetically to say, "Hey, I love the Lord." And that's not something that we see it in a lot of our artists in the culture, but that's not something that you always hear or see from a big name iconic artist. Of course, they'll get on the stage and say, "Wow, first I want to thank my Lord and Savior for this award," but to actually apply it in your music and write several songs referencing God and how he brought you over and how he is your inspiration, and not only that, but including it in your life story and putting it to the forefront of everything that you do, all of your music throughout every era. Yeah, Mariah Carey is that girl for that. And those are basically the main reasons as to why I definitely enjoyed this book. I actually read most of this book while listening to Mariah Carey on the Audible app, reading this book, which changes the entire experience of the book because you get to actually hear her voice as she's telling her story, going through her experiences. And not only that, in true living legend fashion, Mariah Carey is actually singing along to the different lyrics that she incorporated in this book. Yes, for the fans, she definitely incorporated most of her songs throughout the entire book to help tell her story and to let you know, hey, she's really been telling her story throughout her music, her entire career. So to hear her sing them is just incredible. I think the most memorable part of the Audible book was when she talked about her father's funeral, and to hear her singing Going Up Yonder. And it's just, I recently lost my grandmother, and that was a song that we played at her homegoing service, and that's a song that we actually hear a lot in the Black community when we're singing off our family members to the lands of the ancestors. So it was just incredible to hear her sing, if you wanna know where I'm going soon. It was just so nice. And then she came in with the I'm going up yonder, and the choir came in going up yonder. It's just so nice. It's so nice. If you're already a fan of Mariah or book reading and you've actually read the book already, drop down in the comment section, give me a comment and let me know. I want to make this a thing on my channel to give you guys a review of different books that I read. I do plan to at least try to read a book once a month. My next book that I will be talking about is Conscious Capitalism. It's basically a book based off of liberating the heroic spirit of business. While you're here, make sure you check out other videos from Toni Approved, including videos on other musical artists, more Mariah Carey videos throughout my catalog, and also an unboxing for some Ivy Park. Definitely check that out, you guys, and I'll be back soon with another video. Until next time, God bless, and I'll see you guys soon.